Now this computer is quite empty. Since the side panel bolts have been removed, the first thing that I do is take out all 4 screws holding the power supply in place. It falls right out, and upon taking off the side panel we can see that we have a very empty case. Our very dusty power supply is removed, and the only parts remaining in this computer are the drives. No motherboard, cards, or memory is left for us to take. Using a screwdriver, we begin to remove all visible screws which hold them in place. Here, a DVD and hard disk drive are the most clear to see. There is a floppy drive which we will see in better detail in just a moment. Now obviously the DVD drive still needs more work, but our IDE hard drive easily comes out the rear, needing only one set of screws to be taken out. Basically, there are no screws under the left panel securing that in place, unlike the other drives here. We then put that drive to the side and begin removing the 2 case screws holding the left panel down. The left panel slides right off and we put that to the side. Now we reveal 3 more screws, which we then take out. We then place the computer face up, causing our floppy drive to pop right out, and we also push out the DVD drive. We then focus on removing that front panel by pulling on 3 plastic tabs on each side. Working the other side frees the front panel from the metal case, and we begin to pull out all of those wires through that small hole. We also cut some zip ties and wires attached to some LEDs and buttons in the front. There's just a few there. And then we cut the wires attached to our small USB board. This small low-grade board is removed with 3 more screws. And once we remove those, the board comes right off. We then focus on getting the rest of those wires separated from the case. There was a little bit of cable management present, but after messing with it a little bit, eventually those wires are freed. And once they are out, we are basically done with this whole thing. We then slide the metal panels back on and secure the faceplate to the cover. And now, we will go ahead and see what we ended up with in this very, very short teardown. As always, we have our screws, a lot of wire with some of those socket connectors plated with gold, 1 IDE cable with gold-plated pins. Now keep in mind that a lot of times, especially with the newer cabling, the amount of gold is very minimal, especially if the connector uses blue plastic, in my experience. Oftentimes the really, really modern computers, you'll see that. And I believe in our previous video, we happened to see a IDE cable with that particular connector. Now, in these, oftentimes the only part that has gold is the very tip of the pins. The rest of it is just like nickel. So yeah, the plating is very, very thin, so very low yield material here. Anyway, we also got a low-grade board with a few connectors on it, a cheap Austin power supply, a Mitsumi floppy drive, a DVD drive, and a 13.6GB IDE hard drive. Now these Maxtor HDDs are very good quality, and their logic boards have a lot of great chips, capacitors like tantalums and MLCCs, and a good quality crystal oscillator as well. The connector also has some great plating, and these are always fun to mess around with. Anyway, that will be all for this video, and here's what we have. So stick around, as our next video will be a lot of fun once again, with a good old Dell. Now take care out there and have an awesome day.